Well, day 2 of joint practices and the last joint practice for the Detroit Lions and New York Giants is in the books, man. And we actually had Detroit Lions reporters with boots on the ground after having an extremely tough day yesterday in and out of New York. So we able to get our training camp observations. Shout out to Detroit Sports Podcast, Prior to Detroit, Tim Twentyman, Justin Rogers, Kyle Minke, all of them guys that make what I do even more possible than it would be without their information. So I do appreciate that. We are looking forward to the game against the New York Giants and Detroit Lions that will be happening Thursday at MetLife Stadium. And I'm sure none of the stuff that was happening in practice, the pushing, the shoving, the fights, and all that stuff will spill over to the game, because these are guys trying to make this team. They're trying to make the team, and they don't got time for that nonsense. They get 3 opportunities to prove their worth, and they can't waste their time doing something dumb like fighting on the field. Now, one thing that we've known is that our secondary was in need of an overhaul. Terrion Arnold is light years better than what we had back there before, including Cam Sutton and Jerry Jacobs. Still got those rookie growing pains, though, getting beat by Malik Neighbors, but making some plays as well. And the pass rush will no doubt help him, as well as the other secondary members, when it comes to helping them make plays in the secondary. But how did our pass rush do today? Here's what Tim had to say. Says, defensive pass rush drills. I made it a point to watch the Lions D-line, defensive line versus Giants offensive line in pass rush drills Tuesday. There's a lot expected of those guys up front for Detroit. And if this defense is going to be better in 2024, they have to lead the charge. I charted every rep and had the Giants winning 22 and the Lions 16 with a couple of draws. By far, the most dominant player by either team in the drill was Lions defensive lineman Aleem McNeil. I had him winning 3 of his 4 reps in dominating fashion by walking the offensive lineman right back into the quarterback. He's looking for a new contract, so offensive linemen, beware. Tim said all the things that I said too. He was doing that yesterday. Malik got that. Aleem got like that small, like that Mighty Mouse strength. Dude is not as big as he once was, but he's super powerful. And yes, he's in a contract year. I noticed something was missing though, Tim. I noticed something was missing. And that is, with the exception of Aiden Hutchinson, where was Marcus Davenport? Where was the information about the other guys? A guy that we know can already get the quarterback, who was second leading sacks on our team, is bullying offensive linemen. Yeah, we kind of get that. I want to know what's going on with everybody else. Now, this is not a shot at Tim. This is a question to you. Where is everybody at? Where is everybody else at? Because we know what Aleem could do. But where is everybody at? Now, yesterday we saw that Jameson Williams was putting on plays. Detroit Lions were tweeting out some things, and we are expecting a big year from him. What did Tim have to say about the first team offense? Says, during one of the first team periods, I was impressed by a 3-play sequence that showed just how explosive the Lions could be at the skill positions this season. The first was a catch by wide receiver Jameson Williams in the right flat after he went into motion and beat the defender to the spot. He made a nice move to avoid a tackle along the sideline and went for a good gain. Next, it was a nice run by Jahmyr Gibbs to the right, breaking through a nice hole and making a move to avoid a tackle at the second level. The third was a crosser by wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown that went for another big gain down the sideline. Well, what do you know? 3 of the huge pieces in our offense. We expect Jameson Williams to be the second wide receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown gave a challenge to Jahmyr Gibbs to get 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing, and he would buy him anything he wanted. That's how you spend your new contract money. So that's going to give this guy extra motivation. So to hear that those guys are having a great time, are putting in work at camp, picking up right where they left off, That's a big deal. Now, Sam Laporta was missing today, got a slight hamstring injury that he's nursing, so they held him out. He will not play on Thursday, so he has plenty of time to recover. We probably won't see him until the next set of practices as we go into the preseason game 2. Now, speaking of wide receivers, we know who number 1, number 2 is. I myself thought that Khalif Raymond would be number 3, but there's a new name. We have a new challenger. His name is Darius Fountain. He's making a push for the number 3 wide receiver. Here's what Tim had to say. Says, wide receiver battle. Darius Fountain is really gaining the respect of the coaching staff. He was with St. Brown and Williams in the first 3 receiver set of the team period Tuesday. Another player getting some first team reps over the last 2 days was Caden Davis. Both made plays in here enjoying practices too, and are players to keep an eye on in Thursday's preseason game. Two guys that we had as bubble. Darius Fountain, not so much. Caden Davis is making a push for the active roster. He's making a push. Don't forget, one of the very first plays that we saw from Terrion Arnold, it was Caden Davis that had him beat. Terrion was able to close up, make a play, and get the deflection. But Caden Davis is making a play. I myself still believe that there is a missing spot at wide receiver, a veteran we can bring in. But what does this mean for Donovan Peoples-Jones? Another practice where there is little to nothing being said about DPJ. Thursday, I'm telling you, if Donovan Peoples-Jones is out there in any fashion during the preseason, his job is not safe. Because if you are secure, you ain't playing. That's just bottom line. What about Jake Bates, though? We've been hearing some troubling things about him, depending on who you listen to and your outlook on it. Me, I'm not tripping so much. The dude is going to play 14 of his 17 games indoors, not including the playoffs, and I think he'll get it together. What did Tim have to say about Jake Bates? Says, Bates, watch. Lions kicker Jake Bates kicked in practice Tuesday. From my vantage point, standing behind the opposite end zone, I couldn't see the exact yardages, but he took 9 kicks varying from what looked like 40 to 60 yards, and he was 6 of 9. He made 2 of the last 3 from the furthest distance. After Jake went 6 for 6 that one day, seems like he has not been the same. It really does. Seem like he's not been the same, and I'm not tripping about it. I'm really not, but he's got to clean it up. Now, the Lions still have not brought in a kicker. We're expecting them to bring up somebody. They worked out 4 kickers last week. It did not bring any of them in. Maybe the guy they want, they're holding out to be cut. I have no idea. Riley Patterson was picked up by the Washington Commanders, so unless he's waived again, he's not an option. James Turner, the undrafted free agent that we brought in after the draft, he was cut by the Packers, and he is still, to my knowledge, available. And I'm surprised that the Detroit Lions have not brought him in. And also Andre Smith as well. He's still out there. He was Jake Bates' competition in the UFL, both of them. Jake had a stronger leg, but Andre was more accurate. He took less kicks, though. He went 19 for 21. Bates went 22 for 27. I think Andre's longest was 61, and obviously we had the 64-yarder from Jake Bates. So I don't know. Maybe the Detroit Lions have confidence in all of these guys as far as Jake Bates is why that's not a problem, and they're not in a rush to bring anybody in. So let me know your thoughts on day 11, I believe this is, of training camp as a whole, and day 2 of joint practices. A lot of stuff is happening. I am so excited to see what is going to take place on Thursday. We're going to be watching that defensive line very closely. Don't expect to see Jamison Williams. But for the first time in a long time, I am super, super, super excited about the second and third team, watching the pass rush, watching those guys in the secondary, fighting for jobs. Because unlike the 2021 team, where we got a bunch of mystery men that we put together, these guys are good players, and there's going to be some great players that are cut. And that's just around the NFL. But now our team is in a position where we have to make the hard choices. They get harder and harder every year. That means that we're building not only a good team, but we're doing things the right way. So let me know your thoughts, man. Are you excited? How excited are you about preseason? I'm kind of like super excited and super mind blown at the same time. Like, you're talking about what has it been? 27 weeks since the NFC title game. And just like that, seems like I was just on that plane coming from the Colorado airport, feeling horrible with COVID. And now, a year ago, coming up, this game here, me and my sons went. So here we go, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Consider subscribing as well. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell for the giveaway information. It's coming really, really soon. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.